You know, if you take everything I've accomplished in my entire life and condense it down into one day, it looks decent.
Good evening, party people. Welcome to another episode of The Decent Show. It is Reagan and Ryan, and we have a triple feature for you tonight. We've got three turds that we're going to be talking about, and we're going to dive right into it. The three movies we're talking about will be The Commuter with Liam Neeson, Uncut Gems starring Adam Sandler, and Jumanji starring The Rock and Kevin Hart. So, Reagan,
I don't know. I just like that you're like looked almost mid asleep while you were giving the intro there. You're like, all right, good evening.
Did it sound too monotone? Or was it
No,
good?
no, it's fine.
Okay. It sounded okay.
It was decent.
It just didn't look okay.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, that brings up like a really good question I'm gonna ask you when we get done talking about all three. But you got anything else to say before we get into?
No, what question were you talking about?
I'll get to it.
Okay, don't forget.
Oh, I won't.
Alright.
So we're gonna do. I can't even remember the name of it. I keep wanting to say nonstop.
Nonstop. My notes are it's nonstop on a train.
Exactly. Which is the other Liam Neeson movie, right?
Yeah, where he's on a plane. Liam Neeson's been on a plane and a train and an automobile.
What was the automobile? Taken one or two?
Yep.
Both, yeah.
Both?
Yeah, both.
He did drive in all three movies.
So what do you think about the movie?
Saw it? Sucked.
Yeah.
No, let's see what I got here.
The plot makes no sense.
Yeah, plot makes zero sense. That was definitely a problem I had throughout the movie.
It feels like one they just like kind of pieced together as they went. Like they had like 3 days to shoot the whole movie, and they were like, all right, well, what if he does this next, and then this next?
Yeah. I'm just getting kind of tired of these type of Liam Neeson movies, where he, I don't know, it'd just be interesting to see him do the lead in a movie that's not something like this, where, you know, Taken and Commuter and Nonstop are all super similar. And even like, I saw it when I was in college. It was like A Walk Among the Tombstones or something. He was like a private investigator.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm just getting tired of him being this old guy who's like, you know, really resourceful and like in pretty good shape. And is just doing messed up shit. Like there's always messed up shit happening that he's having to handle. So, and I'm just getting kind of tired of it. And he obviously has that serious Liam Neeson voice. And after 8 movies of it, you just get a little tired of hearing the same like tone of voice. And
I want my family back.
Yeah, basically, that's all it feels like.
Did you?
And then like whenever in like every single one of those movies, he has like a casual moment where he's I guess, you know, developing a character and showing like a human side, where he's like barbecuing with some jackasses, and he's like, Bill, you know, what are we gonna do about the stocks? I don't know, I'm just trying to keep the wife happy, you know, just like crap like that. That's very generic and it's just
garbage.
So 2-dimensional. Yeah, not good.
Did you even buy the beginning of where like he gets laid off, so all of a sudden he's gonna start taking money? Like there's nowhere else for him to go work. I mean, I understand like he lost like his, I guess, part of his savings, or you know, like a good amount of financial money, but like he seems like he's pretty successful at what he does. Could he not just go apply somewhere else?
Ideally. So yeah, I understand him losing his job, but yeah, I mean, how long was he unemployed before he took that money on the train? Was it the same day?
Not even a day.
Yeah,
it was like 3 hours.
Yeah, that was pretty stupid. Yeah. But I think it's just because he was intrigued. I think it was the only thing. You know, of course, he's a salesman too, so he's a salesman that got sold like on a gimmick, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like, hey, you know, we're gonna.
But I guess I would take the money too, honestly.
But you'd think he'd be able to kind of see through that too, like as a salesman, like I'm really gonna get all this money for doing next to nothing, like really.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, the organization that he's, I guess, taken the money from, who did they end up being? Was it the FBI or who was it?
It was some secretive thing. It was so like convoluted. I couldn't even understand what was going on. Like who was the actual bad guy? And the biggest problem with the plot is like I couldn't figure out why they didn't just kill the guy. They knew which guy needed to be killed. Why not just go kill him? You'll have the means and you'll have people who are trained. Just go after the guy to kill instead of having Liam Neeson kill the guy who witnessed a crime, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they needed like an average person to blame for the murder, and then also that's what I wrote down here. Like they're all seeing and all knowing because they know everything that he's doing
at all times.
But they can't figure out who it is that they're trying to kill. They know they have some context clues and they know that they need to kill a person, but they don't know who that person is, like what they look like. But they know everything else. They just know everything.
Yeah.
They know Liam Neeson's family and like where he's at on the train and what he's doing and not doing. But
What do you think about the Pedro Pascal in the movie
who is this page? Oh, of course.
that we
yeah.
saw coming a
Yeah.
mile away? How would
Yeah.
you rank it on the Pedro Pascal scale?
We saw it coming a mile away, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Which the Pedro Pascal, of course,
How
is.
soon did we see it?
There's a friend from your past, and then you've known him a long time, and he double crosses you, and it's super obvious.
Yeah, I know.
I'm explaining.
Oh, for the fan.
Yeah.
But when did we know? That it was
Almost
that guy?
immediately. Like when he was in the bar having drinks with him. I was like, yeah, that guy's definitely going to be Pedro Pascal.
Yep. And it took till the very end.
Yeah, they
Like,
saved it for the very end,
The
but
very end.
man, it did happen.
It did happen, yeah. So, good prediction on our part. Didn't care for it. I would say on the scale, it was got to be... I mean, the fact that we called it from the beginning of the movie, I mean, like opening scene, maybe scene 2 at the most.
Hmm.
I mean, that's got to get it under, that's got to be like a 3, right? It's got to be, if it's on a scale of 10, it's got to be under 5.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. So.
And it's, of course, like it's the laziest way to do it, honestly. I feel like it's the laziest form of twist.
What, Pedro Pascal?
Yeah, I just feel like
Yeah.
it's so lazy. And it's,
Especially when they do the whole, like, just shallow friendship at the beginning, and then they
Remember
wait
when-
until the end, and they're like, well, what about in 76 when I had your back? And he goes, we're not in 76. I'm a bad guy now. So,
that's spot on, actually.
Yeah.
I can't believe you remember that line, actually.
that's what they all say.
Other bad stuff. There was really bad CGI when he was jumping from train to train at the very end. I remember that being awful, and the train breaking apart was terrible CGI. Which begs to ask the question, why even do it or show it? I mean, I don't know. You save all this money by doing basically the whole plot in one location.
Yeah.
So why not just continue to like do that?
I think they're trying to save as much money as possible because they like know people might go see it because it's Liam Neeson and it's like another Taken, but they're also like people know it sucks, so
Mhm.
they're like gonna save some money that way the profits are better.
I guess, but I don't know. That scene looked awful. His like old man stride across the two carts was just awful. I remember that really sticking out. I don't know. Just the dumbness of the things was just like really. I don't know. A lot of the decisions they made were just weird. Honestly, like I can't decide why they wanted him to be sort of the good guy, but he also, he's going to go after and kill people, and the cops surround the train at the very end, and they don't just kill him immediately because all that's stopping them are just windows that he's taped over, but they could have just sent a SWAT team in there and taken him out, or a sniper.
Yeah. How did he end up getting out of it?
He put like a radio thing on the guy, and the guy basically admitted that he was working for the secret organization and making all the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty bad. Pretty bad.
I don't know what made them like come up with this premise, and I feel like whenever they're doing it, like, oh, this is so interesting, like, this sucks. But
I don't know.
especially just the train thing, like him being a daily train rider, and like, I mean, how many people did the lady approach before she got to him? Was he the first person that was offered this deal? Like,
And it begs to ask the question that if they researched him, why not do the research on the actual person you want to kill instead of just waiting for the perfect opportunity? And they couldn't have had anything to do with him getting fired.
right?
So they just waited forever for that. Like, how did
They're
that
like,
opportunity
he's
fall
gonna
right
get-
into their lap?
Yeah, he's gonna get fired right when we need him to.
And how did they figure out he got fired? They knew before he got on the train, obviously.
Yeah,
And he got fired that day at work.
that day.
A couple hours before he got on the train.
And he happens to be riding the same train as the person that they're looking for.
Yeah.
But they still don't know what this person looks like or who they are.
And they have their own person on the train, too.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. And they kept implying that one guy that was like scary looking, that they were like playing chess with or whatever.
Mhm.
They kept like making it imply that he was part of the agency, and he never was. He ended up just being like an ally.
Yeah.
Thought that was kind of stupid.
The whole movie was stupid. The whole movie was pretty dumb. I don't know. That's all I got, really. What about you? Anything else?
No, I got nothing else. What would you?
Garbaggio.
Really?
Yeah, it's a Garbaggio movie.
Garbaggio.
It's a waste of Liam Neeson. It's not. There's nothing original about it. I don't like movies that take place on
I mean,
one.
it's original. It's just not good.
Fine, it's an original turd.
Well, I don't know if it's original. There might be other movies like that. There's so many movies and stuff.
But like, I don't know. I don't really like movies that take place in one place anyway, because I feel like it's cheap,
Yeah.
so it's kind of boring, I guess. And the characters can't really go anywhere, literally, and then they can't really develop or anything because it has to take place in a certain amount of time, you know. Because why would they not just leave the place? So it was dumb for me, and I didn't find any of the action good. They did a lot of jump cuts.
A lot of cuts.
For most of the action, the stupid Pedro, it's got, checks all the boxes. Jump cuts for the action, Pedro Pascaling, terrible
Plots and
CGI,
characters.
terrible plots and characters, unbelievable story, waste of a good actor.
It does check the box.
Every box you want for a movie you don't want to see.
So the plot was so stupid that, like, at first it had me intrigued, and then by, like, I guess the middle-ish end, kind of like probably 3/4 through the movie, I was like, yeah, this kind of sucks and doesn't make much sense.
No.
So I don't know.
And to me,
I give it low-key garbage.
I like Liam Neeson. So
Yeah.
for me to not like it or be bored during one of his movies that I'm trying to root for it to be good means
All
it
his-
sucks even more.
All of his movies lately, they were the same. Like, they're not good.
Yeah, I guess, has he had a good movie since Taken? He's been in he had a cameo in Ted 2. So
Cameos were fine, yeah, but
His
him
own
starring
movie.
and stuff is like.
what about Call for the Wild or whatever that movie's called? The
The
Gray.
Gray?
Yeah.
Well, that's almost. I've heard it was decent, and that movie's like 7 years old at this point, or 5. I don't. It's on the older side.
And I didn't like the Seth MacFarlane Wild Wild West, whatever that movie was called.
Oh, Million Ways to Die in the
Yeah,
West.
Million Ways to Die in the West. Yeah.
You didn't like that one?
No.
It's good.
It was funny sometimes.
I bet you think it's a lot funnier now.
Why? Because I've seen a lot of crappy comedies.
Yep. A lot of crappy movies.
I just remember cringing a lot during that movie. Like, some of it just made me cringe. Like, I thought the humor was really bad or really good.
I don't know.
How do you give it low-key Garbo? Like, what are the redeeming qualities? It's short.
The fact that it had me interested at first, and
Okay.
Liam, and I mean, it's different. It just sucked, but like, I don't know. Because I didn't hate it. I wasn't like, oh my god, that was awful. I mean, it sucked, but like, it was a tolerable suck. So that's why I give it low-key Garbo.
All right. Well,
Like, I'm glad I watched it.
I guess. Yeah. I don't think so. But let's move on.
All right.
Uncut Gems.
Uncut.
It's
How
on
long
the
did it take
slide.
us to do that?
12 minutes.
Okay, cool. Not bad. So, Uncut Gems, Adam Sandler, and other people.
Kevin Garnett.
Oh, yes, of course. Kevin. Hi, Kevin.
Exactly. Spoilers.
Hello, loser. Hi, Kevin.
Yep, that is definitely right money. Thank you for that.
Sorry.
It's
like if I started, I had to finish it.
Well, you finished it all right.
Daddy. All right. So, what about Uncut Gems? What do you think about it? What were your thoughts? This person put not a Sandler fan. Pretty sure this would be an Oscar nod for Sandler. Let's just go ahead and knock this out here at the top. Do you think he really should be nominated for his performance? I mean, was it really that good?
It's hard to say because I haven't seen a lot of movies that are gonna. If you're asking me for like the movies that I've seen this year, who I'm gonna give an Oscar to or nominate for an Oscar, maybe he would make it. But I haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I haven't seen Richard Jewell. I haven't seen Bombshell or I guess
Dark
that
Waters.
would be all Dark Waters.
It was another like biodrama with Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then, I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of the movies that are going to be considered for that. But he did a great job in the movie.
Good Day in the Neighborhood.
Yeah, didn't see either one of those. So I haven't seen the movies that are like gonna get those nominations. But he did
Is
a good
Knives
job.
Out going to get nominations?
Probably get best ensemble.
Like cast?
I don't know if that's an award or if people just want that to be an award. No, that's not an award, so it won't get anything.
Okay, cool.
Maybe best actress for the girl, but I kind of doubt it because she's great in the movie, but she's not. She's up against a lot because there's probably 2 or 3 people from Bombshell that are gonna get nominated.
You really think so?
I
Are you
kind of think
hearing
so.
that, or are you assuming that?
I'm just saying that movie is everything that I guess the Hollywood wants in a movie. You know, it's based on a true story. It's sort of shitting on Fox News. Like, it's got everything that people want.
Again, is this your opinion, or are you reading that?
These are opinions I'm having. And then just the way the movies that come out that are based on a true story that come out in November or December usually are the ones that get nominated.
Yeah. I know. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't have as good a ratings as like all those other movies you named, though.
No, but I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody had like a 61% on Rotten Tomatoes and it won Best Picture.
It got Best Picture.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And we didn't even talk about it in our episode.
Nope.
Like, we mentioned it for like 2 seconds, and whenever we like did, and I went back and listened to it, I was like, I can't believe that we didn't talk about it more, or like I didn't put it in a category.
But did you even like it that much?
Yeah.
Oh, it slipped your mind?
Yeah, I guess it slipped my mind, and maybe I didn't like it as much as the other movies because it's the only like music movie. But yeah, I really liked it. I've seen it 2 or 3 times.
Still good?
Yeah. It was
Oh,
good.
damn. Well, anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, he's good in the movie. Adam Sandler's good in the movie. Is he, like, amazing? I don't think so.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was like, he definitely fit that role. Like, I wouldn't put anybody else in that role, and I thought he did a good job. But like, I don't know about an Oscar. Like,
I think it's just because he hasn't really acted in so long.
yeah.
That
Phoning it in for 5 to 10 years.
I mean, he's just, even in the movies we like, he's really just being himself, honestly.
Yeah.
Or I guess what we perceive him to be. And in this movie, he's playing a completely different person. He kind of sells it. So, and he's the best part of the whole movie, in my opinion,
Oh yeah. Definitely.
is watching him act and be ridiculous and sort of get frustrated. And I don't know, he's sort of like, he does like a sort of Jewish accent, kind of.
And he's also like a tough guy pacifist. Like, he'll cuss anybody out and say anything to him.
But then he'll just back down immediately.
Yeah, he'll back down immediately. And he'll like throw a slap or like a push and then like back down. It's like, okay. So.
I don't know. But like, what did you think about the movie in general? Because we both saw it last night and like marinated on it since then. And honestly, it just wasn't a good movie. It wasn't really a good movie, honestly. It was entertaining,
Okay.
but I would never want to watch it again because of how we talked about like how like annoying and sort of, I don't know, stress-inducing it is.
Yeah.
Because I can't stand that every time he's talking or anyone's talking, everyone's talking at the same time.
Yes.
It doesn't go like, all right, I'll say something, and then you'll answer me. And then I'll say something again, and you'll give me another answer. It's like, no, do give me the jewels, not what jewels, all the fucking jewels. And it's like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Well, and everyone's like so impatient, dude.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of impatience to me was a little extra. Like, it didn't need to be that serious because every time someone couldn't get in that door, I mean, they're screaming like, "Get the water! I don't want water! Don't give me the water!
No, don't give me the water. No.
Yeah, open the door!
You never have a chance to like just sit there and relax or whatever. He's sending like 15 texts at a time. Like, where's that? He's like pacing back and forth. He's looking at the phone. Like,
Yeah.
and, it's
And he's
just-
like, close the door, open the door. You gotta open the door to close the door. You gotta close the door to open it. You know, it's like, oh, okay. You gotta shove some metal in it. Go get a knife, get a torch, get my suitcase. Doing that. Hurry, where are you at? Hurry up.
and oddly enough, the auction was slow.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it was
isn't
pretty
that
slow, yeah.
weird?
He's like,
Like,
you have 190,000.
sir, will you have this? Oh, okay. Well, I have 10 to this gentleman.
Back to you, sir.
Another 1 to this gentleman. It was very slow for an auction. I figured it'd be way more. Exactly.
But it's
Yeah.
formal. It's a formal auction.
Venom. Anyway, yeah. I don't know. And you could tell.
It makes sense how, like, I want to know. I don't know
on.
how to phrase this because I don't know. Their appraiser or whatever, whenever the price of the jewel got knocked down,
Yeah.
I didn't really get that. I guess.
Couldn't he have just taken the jewel and then gotten appraised himself? And then, well, I guess he was on a timetable.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So like, he should have done that sooner, but KG kind of messed that up for him. He could have done it if he would have loaned it to KG.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the other thing too. Is like KG brought up a good point. It's like, why show it to him if he's not able to buy it?
Good
You're-
point.
Like KG even said that in the movie. So it's like, why would you get it in the package? It's the most exciting thing in your life. You've been waiting 17 months, and you're going to show it to a guy who's looking to buy stuff at your shop?
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So he screwed up there.
And why have that other dude's watches in there if he can't sell them? Because that was a
Yeah.
big point of contention too. Why have them for display? And how do they work together before this? Because it seems like he was an asshole from the start to Adam Sandler's character, the guy with the dreads.
Yeah, I guess they always kind of had a rocky relationship, but what it seemed like was, real quick on the TV, they're recapping our epic loss to the Bills.
The Oilers
Yeah.
meltdown. Yeah,
Yeah. How hilarious.
great.
I just can't believe we were the Oilers and our uniforms looked like that. It's pretty wild.
I honestly kind of like the uniforms.
Not that I don't like them, it's just, I don't know, we just look wild. You know, because I've only really seen the Texans. I've never really watched Oilers highlights.
Mm-hmm.
35-3, and we blew it.
And we blew it.
We blew it. So, yeah, I didn't get that either, but it seemed like he was storing his watches there to like maybe show off to people or like sell to exclusive people.
I guess.
But Adam Sandler was using them to make bets, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I just wish the movie had been, I guess, a little slower and a little more patient and let people talk a little bit more.
yeah.
Because to me, I feel like I missed a lot of dialogue. But the best parts to me were when Adam Sandler was addressing one person at a time and he was basically roasting them in like a really like sarcastic or angry way, like when his girl cheated on the weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, go ahead and get your beauty sleep. That's all you're good for is looking attractive." Like, don't want that well to dry up or whatever he says to her. Just like really offensive stuff. Really dug it.
Yeah, he shit all over her.
And then she comes back to him.
all the time, yeah.
And I don't understand. He's a pretty ugly looking dude.
And he's not like that rich.
No,
Like
I guess
I guess he is, but he isn't.
he's got a pretty nice apartment. Where do they live? Do they live in New York? Yeah, 'cause
let's
they're-
go with that. Yeah, New York.
Because his family lives in Long Island, so
Yeah.
he must live in New York.
Well, and that's what I don't get either. Is like he had the super nice house with his family, and they were all aware that he had an apartment,
Mm-hmm.
but like the kids didn't know what the apartment was for, and the kids didn't know that they were going to get divorced. I'm assuming, or maybe they did, but like
I could buy it, honestly. I could buy it, like
what the hell does he have an apartment for?
because his shop is in the city, and he's kind of a workaholic.
You're right. Okay, that makes more sense. But yeah, so
I don't
his
know.
wife knew
Yeah,
the whole time.
and
But
honestly,
she was both the wife and girlfriend were hot. I know I said it off air, but gotta let people know on it.
it deserves to be said. Which one was hotter?
I don't know. Kind of depends on my mood. But they were both fantastic.
They were, yeah. It was kind of sad to see like the kids that were already into gambling. Like that was kind of messed up.
Yeah, that was. Well, I mean, the daughter wasn't, right?
No, but like his son
Son
is
was
like, yeah, I got
super
25 or whatever, and like I figured Adam Sandler would be like, no, you piece of crap or whatever, and he just instead goes, and he just said instead it's like, oh yeah, like bet on him, son.
Yeah.
You're gonna be scoring big.
Yeah.
And then of course he gets the bet pulled at the last second, and he just spent all that money, which didn't
I
seem to
don't
have a lot of
understand how they pulled
repercussions.
the bet.
He called the guy that booked it.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, that's my money.
Well, that's the other thing I don't get too is like, where did he get the chopper to get his girl to the Mohegan Sun to place the final bet at the end of the movie?
Great question.
Like,
No
where
idea.
did
Did she
where-
pay for it? I don't know.
Right. And did the chopper go to Atlantic City or did it go all the way to like Vegas?
No, it must have gone to, because the game was that night, so it must have gone to Atlantic City.
Right. Okay. Had to have been.
Yeah, no way. Yeah, I mean, even if you take a plane, you're not going to make it there before the game starts, because the game was started. Like, he gave them the bag, and then it seemed like maybe an hour later the game started.
Right.
There's no way. I would argue it's kind of unrealistic that she made it to Atlantic City to place the bet before the
It's not
game
that-
started.
It's not that far from New York.
It's not.
They could do it in Seinfeld. They go to Atlantic City.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. Like, I never questioned the logic of Seinfeld, honestly.
They do it in How I Met Your Mother as well.
Again, I don't.
Well, basically, what I'm saying is I think it's just in New Jersey.
I
think
also,
Atlantic City's in New Jersey.
I mean, I think it is too. From being from Texas, I have no concept of how far
Mhm.
away those two places are.
Not far.
It's all jumbled. Like once you get to the,
All those New England states, it's like a couple hours you can hop. A couple hours you can go through like 4 or 5 states.
true.
It's like 20. Well, Rhode Island's not a good example, but you can go through Rhode Island in literally 20 minutes.
Yeah, because it's like super. It's like less than a mile size, right, or something like that.
Well,
Like
it's
square
longer.
mile, 1 square mile.
Uh,
Anyway, what'd you think about KG in the movie? Acting.
I thought he was good. I just wish he had a bigger part.
Yeah.
And I did think it was funny how like he kept telling him not to lean on the glass,
Mhm.
and then he breaks the fucking glass. Like that kind of stuff makes me mad. And of course, they're all yelling during that.
And it's
part.
chaotic, and there's 1,000 people in there, and the sirens are going off.
Yeah. All that shit was wild.
Dude, it just like stresses me out. It put me in a bad mood, like watching it, because it was just
Exactly.
like it was like hard to focus on anything because a million things were happening.
But like nothing was happening.
Exactly.
Like they're literally just in the jewelry store, just doing transactions. Like they should be simple.
And they're
But
just
it's
talking
like,
back and
there's
forth.
Like, yeah, there's so much screaming and yelling, and like he's got to keep track of this guy and this guy. He owes this guy money, and these henchmen are coming up. There's a dude at the door, and then he's like, "Yo, like Kevin, don't lean on the glass." You know, broke it.
Of course. I like when the guy quit, or was going to quit, and then he just doesn't even acknowledge him or care or
Yeah.
anything at all.
At all. He's so
That was
obsessed with that
amazing.
rock, and then gets rid of it.
The guy comes in there and it's like, yo, why are you? Why, I can't be treated like this anymore. This guy's like roughed me up today. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go sell at another store across the street. He doesn't even look up at him. He's just obsessed. He's like, you're over here cutting into this fish. You're not even listening to me after all I've done for you. Doesn't even care. Doesn't look up at all. It's amazing.
I know you loved it too. Whenever he like knocked his girlfriend's like drink on her face or whatever, he like knocked her smoothie. He's like,
Yes, that was
"You get to-
hilarious.
You get to work whenever you want, but you got time to stop for a fucking smoothie." Like it's this.
Well, you rushed over here?
Yeah.
It's like, that's a great point.
Yeah, like hits the smoothie out of her hand and covers.
He gets
her
into the elevator. He's like, you have no idea what I'm dealing with. It's all those business folk. It's like, yeah, I'm sure they don't.
So a few other things. Yeah, I wish KG did have a bigger part
Mhm.
in the movie. And then I think the thing that pissed me off the most in this movie was whenever his boy was like Dimitri or Damon or whatever his name was.
What do you mean? Oh yeah,
His
the
business partner
step-
that got 6% or 10% for hooking up for
Yeah,
black
yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah. The black guy. Okay.
Yeah. What was his name?
I think it was Damon.
Damon. All right, let's just go with Damon. So anyway, when he calls Damon on the phone and he goes, "Oh, you finally answered now?" Like after I blocked my number, he goes, "Oh, I knew it was you." And he's like, "Okay, well, do you have the rock?" "Yeah, I got it on me right now."
And he's like, "Oh, I don't have it on me, man. Just chill. I just came here to watch The Weeknd."
But that's not even the worst part. So when he's like, "Yeah, I got it on me right now," he goes, "Okay, bet. You're gonna meet me. You going to that weekend thing?" "Nah, I wasn't planning on it." "Well, you're going." And then they get to the weekend thing, and he doesn't have the rock, and then is like pissed at Adam for questioning him about it. He's like ignoring him. He's like, "Yeah, dude, I don't know the rock. Like, get over it." He's like, "Then what are we doing here?" And he's like, "I'm here to see the weekend." And it's like he just said earlier he wasn't gonna go.
Doesn't
so
make
now
any
all
sense.
of a sudden now you're going?
And he gets away with it.
Yeah. And he gets mad at Adam, and Adam like backs down. And it's like, bro, like this guy didn't plan on going, and claims he has the rock, and they're gonna meet. So like, why even agree to meet him? Like,
I have
if
no
you don't
idea.
have it, and say you're not planning on going to the weekend thing, and be like, "Oh yeah, I mean, I'm here to see the weekend. Duh. Like I wasn't planning on coming here, and like I told you I had the rock, and we're meeting, but no rock. You know." So it's like,
Yeah,
I
that's
just-
dumb.
it was super.
But we got to see Adam Sandler wrestle with The Weeknd.
which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was great.
Him wrestling with the weekend, and his girl looked so different, like in that scene or in that bathroom. I just didn't put together that was her.
It took me a while.
Yeah, and then they're doing coke, which I think is funny because I think the Weeknd's been known to do his coke. I think his hit song "Can't Feel My Face" is
Like that.
As
Yeah.
no, it's about coke.
Was
The
he a
whole-
big deal in 2012?
He was on the come up.
Okay.
I think the songs that he were performing were off of like his like 3 mixtapes that.
I'm not a
Adam
huge.
famous.
I'm not a huge fan of The Weeknd, but it just seemed like, I don't know, like was that the kind of guy you'd go to a club and get like hyped listening to?
No, not really, but like he was famous enough / on the come up enough to where like if he's at the club, like people are excited because he's rich and famous.
All right, I guess. Yeah. All right.
Well, and I guess he was going to be in 2012. He was going to be the next big thing. And the other thing in the movie is Adam Sandler like pawns, I guess, a necklace that they snatched off the weekend or something. It's like
Mhm.
Michael Jackson on the cross, and he pawns that for a bet. And like some guy wants it back, and then he pawns the Celtics ring for a bet,
Yep.
And
And then the
like-
Jesus statue.
and everything gets returned, but like he never gives the Michael Jackson Jesus necklace
Yeah,
back.
that was never resolved.
It was never resolved, and the guy came to the shop during one of the chaotic scenes, and he like somehow ducked him, but like the guy never came back. We never saw him again. He never did the chain. So I just thought that was kind of
He ducks the guys with the watches too. The whole movie. The guys that are weird, kind of
Yeah,
look Jewish
who
too.
were they?
Just other guys he owed money to, I guess. I mean, he never. I mean, I guess he didn't have the opportunity to, but he also didn't really. Nothing really came of it.
And see, that's what I don't understand. If he owes multiple people thousands and thousands of dollars, and he's still betting,
Yeah, he's
and how
addicted.
is he paid for stuff? How is he paying his apartment bill? How's he paying his bills at his family's house and gas and cars? Like, if he owes everyone like all this money, how is he paying for everyday stuff?
He's probably in debt. I would
He
imagine.
better be.
I don't know, dude. The movie was like so stressful for me.
Yeah, and the fact that the theater was hot as shit didn't help.
Yeah, maybe that was another factor.
Dude,
Dude,
I
I might have
was
loved this
swamp
movie
ass.
if I just could have been
If I-
like 20 degrees cooler.
Yes, because I had swamp ass the entire movie. Like,
Do you think that's why those people left in the middle?
Maybe my whole undercarriage was soaked.
Okay,
But-
I've got that.
Did you know that? But yeah, I thought it was weird because
You looked like mad at me when you said it's like, did you know that?
dude, I was soaked. But yeah, the guy next to me, and I guess the guy next to him, and then the two people to the right of them. I guess the four of them were together, and two of them on the far end got up, and they like waved. They're like bye, and he was like bye, and they just left and never came back. And it was like halfway through the movie. It wasn't that much movie had gone by. Like they still had plenty of film left.
What were they after? Were they like, is this gonna be another one of those funny Adam Sandler movies?
Yeah, they're like, oh, this isn't the murder mystery with Jennifer Aniston.
Have you watched that movie?
No, I want to though. Looks bad.
It's
Like the
awful.
fact that the movie is called Murder Mystery, how copy and paste generic of a fucking name can you come up with? Like you just feel like you're just naming it genre. Like I'm like superhero movie, which is actually a movie. But
That's a great movie too.
yeah, action movie. It's like yeah.
This guy gonna die.
Yeah. Hero defeats bad guys. Like
Yep.
how many
Old man saves his family on a train, and it sucks.
I want my family back. So, it's pretty overall. Is there anything else?
And then he gets shot and killed at the end. As soon as he wins, he goes in big. That's what makes no sense to me. Is
Yeah, that's
okay.
the last
He's
thing I have.
he's messing around with all this money. He bets on Kevin Garnett. Super ballsy. He does a 3-way parlay, and one of those is he bets that the Celtics will win the opening tip. So he has a 50-50 shot of just losing right out the gate. And then
$155,000 too.
yeah, and then he somehow, I guess, is able to like get past that. He wins that. He wins the next one for 26 points between his points and his rebounds,
Yeah.
and then the Celtics win. So he gets all three of those done, and he gets like $1,000,003 or something. Really ups his money, and he's going to be able to pay this guy off, and probably then some for all the trouble. And the henchman guy kills him immediately,
Immediately.
and then waits a second, and then kills the guy he's working for.
I didn't understand that at all.
Was that sort of like, look how messed up this world is? Was that sort of one of those things?
I don't know because that's the note that I had. I didn't understand who. I think his name's Arno or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't understand his relation to Adam Sandler. Were they brother-in-law? Was that what it was?
Yeah, they must have been family of some sort.
Some
Yes, they
sort.
were I think brother-in-law, because his father, Adam Sandler's father, was talking about him as if he were new, and he wasn't really a Jew.
Okay.
So he must have been married into the family somewhere.
Either way,
You beat the crap out of your brother-in-law because he owes you money, and you don't just, bring it up to the family or something instead of, I don't know.
I don't get it.
And if I was Adam Sandler, why wouldn't I just tell his wife, like, yo, your husband beats the crap out of me because I won't pay him, like, get him out of the family or something.
I don't know. I don't get it. But the fuck, dude, I'm so terrible at this. The dude, I didn't understand. I didn't understand their relation, and I didn't understand like who he was because he's like how does he have henchmen? Like, what does he do? Like,
Is that
he,
yeah? What is his job?
Is he a mob boss? Like, is he like a crime lord? Is he just a regular guy? Like,
And what is he doing to where they kill him anyway?
yeah, because I mean, the fact that he's got henchmen constantly working and tracking Adam Sandler, like, he's got to be involved in something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then he gets killed by his own henchmen, and he just said, "Let me go," like, and they decided to kill him. It just that whole thing didn't make sense, and I didn't understand how much of a tough guy Arno was, or what he did to allow him to
get
have
that.
henchmen and be the way that he was.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, he's like turns into a big pussy whenever his henchmen start roughing him up, and then they shoot him.
And they decide not to kill him, and then he's like, "I'm gonna kill him anyway." And then they rob the store, and the movie ends.
Right.
And then they have that weird long scene where we go into the blood and into a gym, and then the movie's over.
Yeah. I don't know.
Why not just not have that? You know, why not just end the movie?
Yeah, they seemed really the
Big fans of the
gym
zoom in.
Yeah, zooming in on gyms and eyes and blood and stuff. Is that French fries?
I guess.
Oh,
yeah.
potato ball. That's why.
Ah, of course.
Aha.
Potato bowl, Gatorade shower. Yeah, I don't know. What would you give this movie? Any other thoughts? Any other thoughts on it?
That was my last note. Was
Okay.
the Arno henchman thing not making much sense. What did you give it?
I went first last time. So suck on that.
Hey, at least I disagreed with you. You said Garbaggio and I said Loki.
That's
Garbo.
true, yeah.
It's got some heavy takes.
But do
on
you
this
ever think
show.
we're going to be Fuego Garbaggio on a movie?
Super rare. That'd
Yeah.
probably be the rarest episode ever.
That would be really something. I can't imagine a movie like that.
We just have to
honestly.
keep watching. We'll
I feel
watch-
like a Star Wars movie would be the best bet,
Nah.
but I don't know. What would be the best bet then?
Like you said previously.
A gangster movie? Yeah. Did I just... Oh, dude, speaking of which, here's the trailer.
I think Irishman, except
Ooh.
Irishman has potential. Except I can already tell you right now. I don't think I'll give it a fuego unless the last 2 hours are amazing.
It's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they have to be. Sorry, I kind of want to see this trailer just to make sure there's nothing else that I'm forgetting.
Nothing,
God,
dude.
she was hot.
The wife, of course.
Of course. Now playing. I was surprised how crowded the theater was. There wasn't a lot of audible noise in the theater.
No, because it wasn't a funny movie. It wasn't in anything. It was just a movie.
Well, you were laughing quite a bit.
I was laughing, but not quite a bit. I mean, for the runtime of the movie, it was about 2.5 hours. I laughed like 3 or 4 times, you know.
That was not 2.5 hours, was it?
Yeah, it's 2:20 something.
What?
Yeah, I swear. Because we were in there from 10:15 to about 12:40.
Yeah, it was 30 minutes of previews. So it's about a 2-hour movie.
No, we got no.
Yeah, the preview started at
Bro, it's like
10:15.
it's like 2:20.
We
Suck
meet-
on that.
No, we meet in the middle. It's 2:15.
Suck on it. Yeah.
With
I-
like 5 minutes of zooming in and diamonds and stuff. Anyway, I don't really know, honestly. I don't know where to put this movie because I feel like I really didn't enjoy it.
but is it a bad movie?
But it's not a bad movie, exactly. But I don't need to see it again. Very simple movie.
But you don't need to see A Quiet Place again either.
Right. And I'm more likely to see that movie again, though, than this movie. Well, actually, I don't know. That might not be true. Anyway, I feel like I definitely like it better than Commuter, but I wouldn't say it.
By a lot.
Yeah, just because, like you said, it was just stressful, man. I was just uncomfortable the whole movie. And part of that might have been in the theater, so I do want to kind of rewatch it way later down the road at the comfort of my own home where I can control the air conditioning. So for now, I'm just going to give it a decent, my first decent in a while, I think.
Yeah. What would you give The Mandalorian?
You gave it a decent, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
I guess I did too.
There you go.
That's a show. It doesn't count. Shows suck.
True. I'm gonna give it low-key Garbo. Yeah, it's low-key Garbo.
See, I feel like after the movie, you liked it way more than I did.
I did, but now that I've thought about it, I'm like, that was just very unpleasant. You know, they were zooming in on. It was a conscious effort to make that movie uncomfortable because everyone talked at the same time, and they zoomed in on everyone's face, like, super close. Whenever anyone was talking, you never saw below the shoulders, you know?
Yeah.
It was always, like, right there. It was, like, supposed to make you claustrophobic, you know? You're always in these tight situations, you know? He's in these clubs, he's got a billion people around him, you know? He's always sweating. It's, like, stressful, it's dirty, it's grimy. I just hated it. Like, I couldn't get away from that feeling. When the movie gets away from that feeling, which is rare, when he's just, you know, he's talking to one person at a time, or he's, you know, has a private moment alone, or just things are more chill, maybe a family setting. I enjoy it, and I enjoy that. But to me, the best thing about the movie is his performance, and I can't even really appreciate it half the time.
Yeah.
So I got to go with Loki Garbo.
Yeah, well, we disagree again, but not by much. Yeah, I'm keeping it decent. You made a good point. I already forgot what you said. But
Fantastic.
Yeah.
About the faces, or zooming in, or
Yeah.
wasted his performance because you couldn't hear it.
No. Because, I mean, a lot of stuff they were saying just wasn't important. They were just, like, stereotypical, like, New York yelling with, like...
Just a lot of swearing, just an
lot of
insane amount of
swearing.
almost bothered me kind of swearing.
Yeah.
Because it just seemed excessive.
Very excessive and just extreme impatience. I've never seen people so impatient. But it was okay. I don't really understand the hype or why the critics love it so much. That's what I was going to say. That production company or that studio, A24 or whatever, I guess they're kind of like an up-and-coming or like an indie or just not as popular type studio because just, yeah, the way they did the movie was kind of weird, and like whoever's movie we're seeing, like their trailers are either made, you know, the trailers are made by the same company
Mm-hmm.
or like it's their movies that they're showing us trailers for. I know not all of them are, but most of them are. And all of their trailers are weird.
Hmm.
Like every trailer we saw for that movie just looked like a weird trailer in a weird movie, and it just like none of them looked good. And
Before that movie?
right before Uncut.
Maybe it's because they're all rated R, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. They're already but a lot of them were made by A24 as
Oh,
well. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. And like, so it just looks like they make really weird movies. And like, this is like their most tame movie. It looked like based on those trailers, like Uncut was, but
Mhm.
it was still made really weird. And like that ominous music, I kind of liked it, but it was so loud and like it never stopped.
True.
So it just made the movie even more like tense and annoying. And I don't understand why he left the school play to get like beat up. Like why he wanted to meet them outside.
They're not going to do anything during the play. Just get up real fast when the play is over.
Exactly. And, you know, he like asks him to meet him outside, and he big slaps one of them and then just plans to run. Like, I don't know, like what was his game plan? It just didn't seem
Didn't make
well
any
thought
sense,
out.
yeah.
So
Third movie?
Jumanji Dose, Enter the Jungle, is that what it's called?
No, it's called The Next Level, which is maybe the
Next
most
Level.
annoying subtitle ever. As
Yeah.
in, it almost refers to, this isn't the last one. Like, that's almost what it says.
Yeah. Oh,
Because it's not like the
because
final level or...
The third movie will be the final level.
Exactly.
Because they've done 3 levels in both movies. Like, each time they've been video game, it's been 3 levels.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, they were planning a trilogy from the beginning.
It's not even a trilogy, though. It's technically
It's
a
a
sequel to the first
trilogy.
one.
But it's going to be a trilogy. What I'm saying.
But there's 4.
For what?
Jumanji.
We don't count the first one just because this is like...
It's a sequel to it.
It is?
The board game becomes a freaking...
They were
whatever.
planning to add a trilogy to an original movie from the beginning.
It's awful.
Where do you want to start?
It's awful.
You really thought it was awful?
Nah, it was fine.
It really wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
As soon as I settled into like, all right, this movie's not really trying to be really anything, honestly. I sort of teetered on, I should really lower my expectations for this movie and enjoy it, and this movie should be better. Pretty much throughout the entire movie. And I feel kind of bad that it's not really something you can retire from when you think about it, but if this is Jack Black's last movie, I feel like he's had sort of a underwhelming career for what... I feel like he's funny in all the movies I see him in and like. And I just, I don't want this to be his last movie because I didn't really like it that much, And he was the best part of the movie, to me at least.
Yeah, no, he was.
Because he was the best.
He was the best part of the first movie, too.
He's clearly the best actor, too.
Yeah.
By a pretty significant margin, because everyone does the accents or impersonations.
Terribly.
And he does them really good, and they're hilarious. Like, he does the black guy football player astoundingly well, and then
Yeah.
he does the girl also amazingly well. Like he does all of them great.
He's definitely much better. And to do something so simple and so like just basic humor, he makes it really funny. Everybody else does not.
It's cringeworthy at times. To me, he was the best.
Danny DeVito is second best. Danny DeVito, not The Rock.
Oh yeah,
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito was actually funny in this movie.
Yeah, he was well. It's again like you said. You can just tell he's a better actor.
Yeah, he is.
Because even when he had to have the emotional moments, I definitely because this movie, actually all three of these movies had a hard time getting me to engage emotionally to where to get me to care about the dramatic
Anything,
stuff that's
yeah.
happening. Yeah, and whenever Danny DeVito got serious or sad about stuff, I cared way more just because he's way better at acting.
Yeah.
All the other people, whenever they had their hardships, I was just yeah, whatever.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, don't really care. But when he did it, it was better. And he was funny. Especially at the beginning. What did he say at the beginning? He said something about
My hip or
yeah,
whatever.
he's like, I just want to change your goddamn light bulb or something, I don't know.
It takes him forever to get down the ladder, and he bumps into something and almost falls over. I don't know. He's just really funny.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. In the beginning of the movie where he eats shit, dude. That would have re-broke his hip.
Yeah.
There's no way that wouldn't have done that. He's like, don't tell your mom.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they sort of wasted him being, I guess, I don't know, just being, I guess, acted through. Dude, I even forgot who. Oh yeah, he was acted through The Rock or whatever. And I thought The Rock did an okay job at times, and/or struggled with it, with doing the Danny DeVito accent and impersonation.
I didn't like it at all.
I thought it was okay, but only because I thought Kevin Hart's was awful.
See,
I thought it went
I was okay.
Jack Black, The Rock, and then at the bottom, Kevin Hart. And then the
Really?
chick is just playing a chick, so it's she's almost neutral.
Yeah, no, I liked her. She was fine. But the only reason why I feel like I liked Kevin Hart's more than The Rock's was, Kevin Hart's was rough because he talked so slow.
Yeah.
And, you could tell he was trying really hard to talk that slow.
Mhm.
It just didn't come off natural. And...
He usually talks really fast. That's his humor.
Exactly. But I enjoyed that more because at least he was a black guy impersonating a black guy. The Rock impersonating Danny DeVito just to me was not good. He just sounds like one of his characters from the WWE. He just sounds like he's trying to be Mickey Mouse or something. It just didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't. It was...
But neither one of them really works. My rankings, I would have done Jack Black. What was it? Kevin Hart, The Rock?
Mhm.
Instead of... Yeah, so anyway. Yeah, it was rough. Probably...
Sergeant Schwager.
I was glad that he was not a huge part of the movie.
Yeah. Just because his voice is hilarious.
It's annoying, yeah. I would say, next to Rampage, this is one of the worst acting jobs I've ever seen by The Rock.
Yeah. Well, he's not really... He doesn't really try, that's the thing is, they don't really try that hard in this movie.
They don't.
They don't try for humor. They don't
Well,
try,
they do
for
try for
interesting
humor. It
action,
doesn't
really.
land.
It's
Yeah.
just sort of a lot of CGI
A lot
in
of
a
cuts.
really thrown together, not that interesting scene. Just thinking about the movie, I'm there really wasn't that interesting of action. They climb a tree to get this fruit thing, and they never figure out that the water switches their bodies back and forth until later in the movie, I guess. I don't understand why that wasn't originally, they didn't understand that, And I feel like that scene went on too long, too, where the black guy and the girl switch between Jack Black and the chick from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And that just went on too long
That
for me.
scene went on too long, and that's the problem with this whole movie. This movie did not need to be 2 hours. If this, I know I say this about a lot of movies, but to me,
Hour and a half.
this movie could
Hour
have been
45.
done and been way better with an hour and a half, hour 45.
I agree.
Because that other scene where they first drop in, and they're first explaining that it's a video game,
Mhm.
the very first time they drop in, that took way too long.
Yep.
That scene was too long. There's a couple other ones in there that were too long. The one you just said with the
The
tree
wrap
and
up
fruit,
took too long.
The wrap up took forever. Yeah. So if they would have been way more efficient with those scenes, and
Or maybe I agree.
it would have been better.
But do you feel like we're sort of to blame because I don't want to say we're smarter than other people. We've seen enough movies and we have enough idea of where movies are going to where once we know where a movie's going to go, we just want it to get there and move on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I kind of felt that way. I'm sort of like, man, am I just impatient because I know that the elderly man is gonna, not Danny DeVito, but the other guy is gonna stay behind. Like I know he's not gonna come with them because that's just where they're
Danny
going.
was going to stay with him.
That's true. Yeah.
That's where I was wrong. I thought Danny was going to stay behind with him.
Maybe I'm just, I'm a millennial and I don't appreciate anything, but to me, the whole plot of him, the subplot of him not wanting to work or not wanting to retire and being bored of not working,
Yeah.
just didn't make any sense to me.
It did not do it for me either. Just get a fucking job.
Or a hobby. Just get a hobby. Then you don't have to work.
Yeah.
And you have a broken hip. How are you going to work now anyway? You shouldn't even be able to work. You had to use a breather earlier in this movie, and you're telling me you're going to work a full-time job managing a restaurant?
Right.
Sounds super, super stressful because a able-bodied woman who's younger than you can't handle it.
Well, and the other thing, too, is, he seemed pretty cordial with the Nora lady that he sold the restaurant to.
Yeah.
So why not just let, Danny Glover sell his half of the restaurant and just let Nora take over and you work side by side with her?
Why do you have to retire with your friend?
Exactly.
Why did he force
both
that?
have to quit? Yeah.
What's funny is they had so many scenes talking to each other, through The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
And that was never brought up. I feel like none of the plot really went anywhere. It just sort of, I'm mad at you. Like, why'd you do that? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, it wasn't my fault. Yeah, I understand. I'm dying. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. It didn't really go anywhere. It was just kind of annoying.
So before I say something positive, actually, no, I need to say this positive note before I say the negative note right after it. But I do like the video game aspects of the movie, to be honest with you, just because they struggle to make good video game movies, like video game stories into movies.
Mhm.
And I know this isn't that, but the fact that it involves being in a video game, playing a video game, I do kind of like that aspect of it, like them having skills and power-ups and they're actually useful.
That is cool.
And they demonstrate them, and the fact that he's afraid of cake was, I don't know, I guess that's random enough to be funny, and nunchucks and stuff like that.
The perks and aspects and stuff like that.
Yeah, and being a zoologist, and then the fact that, I don't know, I do really like the fact that Kevin Hart's the bad guy, and he's just always got something in his bag that's useful, because, Fallout and Skyrim and all those other games. And
you carry a billion things.
You carry a billion things. So, yeah, the fact that he's literally carrying a billion things for every situation was another thing I appreciate. But the only thing that I didn't like about that is the fact that Jack Black gets a geometry skill, and
It doesn't really make any sense.
it makes no sense. They're running on moving bridges, and he's yelling out shapes.
Obtuse angle.
Yeah, he's like, jump on the parabola. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, how is moving bridges on different levels
it's not
of
really
elevation?
geometry.
How is that if the bridges are constantly moving, how am I jumping on a trapezoid? Trapezoids don't move.
I agree.
I don't understand.
And I get that it's funny and everything. But why did they have to make him so useless too?
Jack Black?
Because he wasn't that useless in the last. I mean, he was Jack Black, obviously, but he had some skills or whatever. And whereas in this one, I feel like they were like, "Oh man, I gotta play as this guy." I feel like they went into that a little too much. Like, all he knows is geometry. That's all he added.
Yeah.
And why did they add things too? Does the game just keep adapting? I guess, making it even harder and gives more skills.
Yeah.
They never really explained that. I thought the
didn't
kid
explain that.
sort of fixed it or whatever. Were you worried at one point that they were going to have a girl-on-girl kiss? Because the guy was the Asian chick and then the girl was the girl?
That's what I predicted. I thought that's what was going to happen. And I wanted it to happen just because, that's a pretty fluid way to, do it.
It's a weird way, dude. When you think about it. It's,
No,
kind of weird.
It is actually, yeah, you're right. It is
It's
really
really weird.
It is really weird.
It's kind of weird The Rock
probably-
kisses her, honestly.
Kisses who?
That actress. That's weird. Their age difference is insane.
When does The Rock kiss the actress?
They do it really forced when they stop climbing that mountain at the very end. They climb that ice mountain to the top of the fortress, and they free the grandpa or whatever before they drop her down there.
They're not that different. Well, I mean, The Rock's in his 40s.
Rock's 20 years older than that girl.
Yeah, but she's 20-something.
He's almost double her age.
Yeah, but again, it's it's whatever.
It's whatever, but it's still weird.
Yeah, it's kind of hot.
And it didn't really mean anything or add
tell you what,
anything.
I bet they both enjoyed it.
I'm sure they did, but I'm just saying that I don't really know if that added anything to the movie or even really would have been. I feel like it would have been better if the kids did it in real life.
Yeah, but I got a quarter chub from it. So.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess that adds something to the movie.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, the geometry skill seemed pretty out there. Yeah, like you said earlier, I had a note. Jack Black was great as all his characters, and I thought like Fridge was actually pretty good. Like outside of
Yeah,
I thought he was pretty good.
had a couple of digs at white people that were really funny.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm not joking. Like, I honestly
do.
thought it was funny.
I do too.
I can't remember what they are. I don't know what they were. I don't want to misquote it, but they were
He
good.
just said I
I got to stop hanging with white people. Yeah.
So I did. The other thing that made me mad is I thought Spencer's motives and his actions were weak as shit. Like.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He went back and got the game right after they smashed it, but he wasn't depressed when he did that. He didn't get depressed until later, whenever him and Redhead Girl kind of got separated because he went to New York and she's at college or wherever.
And it turns out that she wasn't even really, she missed him or whatever, and he broke up with her.
Yeah.
So that that whole thing could have been avoided if he just texted her once, or she had called him once.
Right.
Or just gone to that meeting and hung out as friends once.
Yeah. All of that stuff was weak.
Oh, I'm kind of sad right now. Let me go almost kill myself, basically.
Yeah, let me go. And that's the thing, too. It's like he wanted to feel strong again, but it's like she's not there to witness it. So you're just going to jump in there by yourself with a half put together game. Like, it's not even fully put together.
What if he broke the way to get out?
Exactly.
And he barely got out with everyone else helping him.
Right. And so, yeah, none of that made any sense. And they all got down to one life. And, oh, that was the other thing. Alex or whatever, Nick Jonas's character, dude, that made no sense. Why would he ever go
Get
back
back
near
in
that
there?
game? You were stuck somewhere for 20 years, and you're just going to go back to help somebody out that you barely know? Nah, dude. And he has a
Nope.
kid? That made no sense. That
Nope.
was the stupidest thing ever.
No.
Like,
didn't make
maybe
any
help
sense.
her put together the game and get her ass stuck in there, but I would not go in there.
Didn't make any sense because they even made the game even sort of didn't make sense of it because they had to get the girl to be a horse so the girl could be in there. The horse isn't a character. They couldn't even get another human. It was just a horse.
Right.
Which I guess is what they wanted to do with the black guy, like flying and being free there, the old man.
Yeah.
But
Or they just didn't want to pay another actor.
I feel like it would have been funnier if she had just been Nick Jonas. And then they would have like switched around. I feel like that would have just been another dynamic, whereas you have a guy playing a younger guy and they're kind of the same. There's really nothing funny there, Do you think at one point they were like, all right, Kevin Hart and The Rock, you guys are really struggling with these accents, so we're going to write something in this movie to where you don't have to do them anymore?
Yeah, dude, that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought, based on the preview, that they weren't going to have the accents for very long. They had it like the whole movie.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was really rough. I thought the Asian girl as Danny DeVito was way better than The Rock as Danny DeVito. Not much. Or, sorry, I say way, but like...
There's a small sample size, but yeah,
She
a
was-
smaller sample size.
She was better.
What has she been in?
Mulan, I don't know.
No, that movie's not even out yet,
Alright.
and it's animated.
No, they're making a live-action one in March.
It looks terrible.
Looks decent.
I mean, it looks good. I just don't. I'm kind of over the Disney remake, whatever.
And then the action they did have just had a lot of cuts.
Yeah, the monkeys thing. You really made a cut up about how they finished the jungle quest, and then the girl and the Nick Jonas character show up there and like, here, put these jackets on. You must be cold. And they're in the jungle still. So
Yeah.
it's like, why would they be cold? They're in the jungle.
Exactly.
And they just finished running and sprinting for their lives.
Yeah, I'm freezing. It made no sense. So, yeah, I wanted to dig at that. And, of course, like, to justify it, the next scene, they're in snow. So I get that. But, like, they didn't need them right then
No.
whenever they had talked about it.
Well, they said you must be cold, dude, which
Yeah.
makes no sense. That
Yeah, it's
doesn't
like-
add anything.
It's like, no, we're not cold. We're fine.
Yeah, it was crazy.
They stretched out, like we said earlier, they stretched out scenes way too much, and the joke that pissed me off the most
The
was
balls.
like the eunuch, ballless joke, because like that served no purpose.
Nope.
It didn't add anything. We never met the brothers that they were talking about. We never saw his ballless brother, and like they were pretending to be people. And like if you're pretending to be somebody and you're surrounded by murderers, I'm gonna go with whatever they
said,
say.
yeah. What does it matter what they say?
Why does it? It doesn't. And like the
You're
fact
lying.
That he has to have pride and be like, I do have balls, and they go, no, you don't. You're a eunuch.
You're lying about your fictitious character in a video game.
Right.
Could anything matter less?
It couldn't. But of course, he has to have a sense of pride and like, care about him having balls just so we can laugh in the theater, like so they can have a ball joke. I thought that was the weakest, most pointless joke ever.
Yeah, and it went on way too long. Way too long.
Lowbrow humor, and like that's the thing too is like Jack Black made it funny.
Yeah,
Like he made it slightly tolerable.
he honestly saved the movie for me, honestly, because
Yeah.
I think they went. I wish they had done even more with him, but they did more with him in this movie than they did the last one.
Yeah.
And I feel like he even had more time on screen.
Well,
And
shoot,
I think
they-
the movie benefited from it.
Yeah, they even got him listed second. They have him listed over Kevin Hart, but they have
Wow.
The Rock listed first.
Of course. Rock's
Uh,
always going to be first.
Yeah, I gotta see what else she's been in. She was Ming Fleetfoot,
Main Fleetfoot. I liked how...
Crazy Rich Asians, and Ocean's 8. That's what she's in.
Oh, I've seen neither. Wow. I don't know what I recognize her from.
Maybe you recognize her from the trailers though. She's also in Between Two Ferns, the movie, which was actually pretty funny.
I didn't see that either. Yeah, I don't know.
Angry Birds 2.
But that was another one of the aspects I enjoyed, is that I enjoyed how they, she can pickpocket and like things like that, where there's something there where they could work as a team and use their individual skills to do something like cool, like a heist or something.
Exactly. That's what I liked about it.
And they kind of flirted with doing a heist a couple of times, but they never really committed to it. It just sort of ended up, I don't know. It was just a weird. I don't know. It just the weird choices in the movie. The whole he can talk to animals thing really wasn't funny, and they sort of They tried to do something with that. I don't really. I guess they had to have that so that they could communicate with the older guy when he became the horse. Which I guess I understand why he would stay, because
He's gonna die anyway when he gets out of the game.
yeah, well, I mean, he's immortal now,
Exactly.
Why would anyone not do that? I guess if you save the world, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, ideally he's immortal unless he runs out of horse lives somehow, like a new threat or something. But
yeah, I'm trying to think of just anything else before we get to the post-credit scene, because that's going to have a lot to talk about.
what were we just talking about? Oh, him talking to the animals.
The smoldering look joke, that was kind of funny, actually. I liked it when Danny DeVito did it out of the game.
Yeah.
I really liked that. And it made the girl awkward, and she didn't know what to do after that. It was
And I
like,
liked
nice.
whenever he was in the game and he was like kissing the hot chick who was like the ex-flame or whatever. His Hispanic ex-girlfriend, and then he like beats up all those guys. He's like, hey buddy, beat it. I told you to beat it. And he like fights everybody. Of course, a lot of cuts though. Way too many cuts throughout all the action of that movie.
Yeah, and we cut away from it multiple times to look at something less interesting.
I just don't, especially like The Rock. Like, what is it that The Rock's not able to do that they have to cut everything?
Probably
he's
move
doing?
fast.
You really think so?
He's pretty big, man.
But, like,
Especially in
how-
this movie. He
how-
looks huge in this movie.
He's massive, but like, how fast does he need to be? Like, he's got to be fast enough.
I mean, it's not like... I would just say it's probably how slow do the other people need to be for him to be faster than them? And will that even look good? But I guess they can make action look interesting with Christian Bale moving in a rubber suit that is probably slow and hot,
Exactly.
and make it look realistic and entertaining. So I guess I don't really know.
Nobody knows. How do you feel about Jumanji having a higher IMDb rating than Star Wars? Star Wars has a 6.9 and a 54 Metascore. Jumanji has a 7.0 and a 58. So it's not much higher, but
It's higher in Rotten Tomatoes too.
Why? Why
Because
do you
this,
think that is? Why do people have such a problem with 9?
I mean, where do you want me to be? I mean, we could talk about this for like an hour, honestly.
Can we really?
I don't know. There's a lot of like things to unpack with Star Wars. Star Wars is almost a loaded thing now, which is kind of stupid because there's the people that grew up on the original trilogy and they really don't want to. They don't want to let go of that and move on, and like they just sort of see anything new as a problem.
Right.
Like they're just, but they're even more than just Star Wars. Like they just think that things in their childhood were the best they could ever be, and
Of course.
anything that's different from that is like, oh, it's Hollywood selling out, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. Who made those movies?
Yeah.
Oh, Hollywood. Oh, okay, yeah. But you know, they have that problem. Then there's people that are now, and there's sort of like a political sort of thing with Star Wars because we're having, you know, are we trying to include everyone in sort of a forced way, which I don't want. You know, I don't want people just like, hey, let's make sure we have one of every race and we got a girl lead and all this other stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Just make the damn movie. I don't care who's in it, you know.
Right.
Just make the best movie. It doesn't really matter. But so there's sort of that thing where people aren't really liking it. And then there's a sort of thing where 8 and 9 were made by people who don't like each other and have completely different visions of, you know, J.J. Abrams is like a really diehard Star Wars fan from like the 80s or whatever. So he's all about Star Wars. It shows in his movies because they're basically just a bunch of references and they show you exactly what you want to see, and it's epic and it's Star Wars, and maybe it's a little too same, but it's, you know, it's entertaining. And then like you have Ryan Johnson, who's just every movie he does, he sort of just tries to make as weird as possible and sort of play with your expectations a lot. Like in Knives Out, they play with your expectations constantly to where you don't even guess the most obvious guy is the killer anymore. And then, you know, all the reveals in that movie, and that movie has just weird things they do, and they have Daniel Craig have a Kentucky accent. It's just like things like this. He just does weird things with movies. So when he does a weird Star Wars movie in the middle of two other ones that don't, and it doesn't really connect, and he doesn't leave a place for it to go, it's like, what are you going to do with that? How are you supposed to end the last, you know, 40 years worth of movies in one movie and have to tie up the characters from the original trilogy and this new trilogy when there hasn't been much development on either one in the last two movies, because one was the setup and the other one was just sort of like a spin-off.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a lot of like, you know, I don't want to like this new thing. I don't want to say, some people don't want to accept like there's girls in it, like, oh
Yeah.
no, I'm not even kidding either. Like they really have a problem with that. And then some
With
of
the
them,
fact that Rey's a Jedi and all that.
well, they have I think people are just really sensitive to like, why do they always make girls seem so popular and like, or not so popular, but so powerful, you know, like they're better than men at everything, you know. And if you want to see it, you could see it, but you know, you gotta really take a lot of leaps in logic, you know, to believe that.
It's pretty 50-50 to me, like, or what, I mean, not in the original trilogy, but in this new stuff, like, it's a pretty decent balance of like chicks and dudes that are strong and they have different strengths and weaknesses. I don't know.
But it's just the way they do, the way some things are shown, it sort of looks like she can do no wrong. You know, she knows how to do everything and she's the best and she can beat Kylo Ren, but she doesn't really beat Kylo Ren almost ever.
Yeah.
If you really think about it. And then if you think about Luke, like he kind of is the best at everything too, you know. It's just, there's a lot of stuff there. And then people look at Jumanji and they're like, oh, The Rock and oh, Jack Black, and it's gonna be a stupid movie. Like I'm just gonna go see it. Like it's gonna be a popcorn flick. I'm not really gonna think about it. Like I don't really care about the plot. That's another thing, is in Star Wars you got to get the plot right. You don't have to get the plot right in Jumanji. They could probably write this movie in 1 week if they wanted to, you know.
Yeah.
And what would take the longest is just people's dialogue. Because what does it matter? Oh, we're going back to the video game. Oh, okay. We're going to go to this place now, and it's going to look a little bit different, and we're going to throw in a generic action scene, generic ball joke. All right, well, why are we going back there? I don't know. The kid's depressed. You know, like, it's just, no one cares.
Check. Yeah. Jumanji. Yeah.
There's no expectations for it, you know. It's just a generic, run-of-the-mill blockbuster movie.
Yeah, it really is. And it was...
I feel like I ran in for so long there.
No, I needed it. That's what I'm talking about. But, yeah, weak plot. I could not believe... Like, it's just so stupid, the fact that they would go back into the game, and that was his reasoning, and the fact that he was able to put it together, why he ever saved it to begin with.
And they didn't destroy it afterwards.
Right.
because the mom comes there later with
With the
some guy to fix
yeah.
the whatever air conditioning or heater, one of the two.
Why would
Heater. And it's still put together, setting up Jumanji 4, basically.
Why would they not tear it up the second time?
They don't, yeah. And they left it probably for a decent amount of time and, maybe a day or two. The first thing I would do when I got out of there is I'd shoot it with a gun or something. I'd throw something at it and break it. I wouldn't want to touch it, so I'd just throw something at it and break it.
Yeah.
And they even say, they're like, I'm never going back in there. And I'm like, I bet you are. Because they know one destroyed it, and
Well,
they
that-
set up a sequel.
Well, now it seems like the game's coming to them based on what we're seeing. Are we to go ahead and do the post-credit scene?
I mean, yeah, we sort of already talked about it. But yeah, you think the game is coming to them, and they're going to have all the characters and actors together.
Yep.
See, that interests me. So, I maybe I'm part of the problem.
Yeah, well, no, I think they're like, yo, we barely, I don't know if barely is the word, but, because they got it done. They made big money. But, I don't know, I feel like they kind of, I just don't get how people can deal with The Rock having that accent and Kevin Hart having that accent. How is that better than Star Wars? It just isn't. But anyway.
A great point. I don't know.
I don't know. It'd be like Rey trying to be Palpatine the whole movie. It's just redonkulous.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. But people are like, yeah, that's hilarious. So anyway, yeah, that's what I think. Is because the guy comes down there and goes, oh, what is this, video game console? Yeah, it's my son's. Oh, I've never seen anything like it. It's how did you know it's a video game console?
You whispered that to me.
Yeah.
During right when that happened, I'm like, "Yep, that's stupid."
Yeah, exactly, bro. I just don't get the stupidity.
How do you recognize it, but you have no idea what it looks like?
Yeah. Oh, something so unique. I don't know what it is. It must be a video game console, right? Oh yeah, it's my son's. Oh, of course.
And I like that actor too, so yeah, I'm gonna probably see the next one, and I'll probably have some more hopes that'll be probably destroyed.
I mean,
Jack Black won't be there for the next one.
That's what I was going to ask you earlier when you're saying this is his last movie. So it's it seems pretty obvious that they're going to do a sequel, but they're not going to have Jack Black in it.
I'm gonna be really upset if he's not in it, honestly.
Because he's the best part of it. I mean,
He is.
I feel like they would still do the movie without him just because they'll still make enough money to justify it, I guess. But you would think that they know he's the best part and that not having him would be a massive loss. But I don't know.
Maybe they think that The Rock and Kevin Hart doing
Or
other
how to
accents.
act between that and him.
No, but their accents are the best part because they're the two main leads, I guess. They gotta work. You know what? Another thing, we were talking about this movie for 30 minutes or so. We didn't even mention the villain. That's how forgettable and terrible he is.
Yeah, that's kind of
Maybe not
goes
even
to that
terrible.
weak plot. It's just because there's this guy who's bad and he's gonna.
Why does he want to take away the sun or whatever? I thought they could have even explained it within the movie because his weakness is that fruit or whatever.
Yeah.
And they could have just said, I want to take away the sun so that thing doesn't grow anymore. They could have just said that.
Well, they did mention him killing all the food and all the crops, but then I was wondering, what the hell do him and his men eat if he kills everything?
And you never want to see the sun ever?
Yeah.
Why would you want to do that?
Because fruit will grow? I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense. Without the sun?
Wait, what?
Why would you want to why would you want to stop the sun from shining?
So that the fruit doesn't grow.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying why would he want to do that? But, I mean, you're that's the reason, but they never say it.
They never say it, but also and again, what are they eating? If he's killed everything, what is there to eat? So.
And honestly, why they need to have a better villain in the next one. These last two villains, they're just there, and they get defeated at the end, and it's just whatever,
Yeah.
It's
pretty bad.
It's like a video game. It's I beat the last boss. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And they were they're just there so I can have something to kill. So I guess they're doing that part right. But you know what they should do? They should take someone weird and have a good actor who looks intimidating try to play that kid. A bad kid gets sucked into the game and is the evil guy.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
And have them do that voice or whatever. So we'd have a little bit of funniness and sort of something there.
That would be cool, but I don't know. I don't see them getting too creative.
Nope.
So whenever the guy tells the mom about the video game console, and it looks like they get sucked in, or he activates the game. And then next thing you know, we see ostriches running down
Mm-hmm.
the actual street that the kids are in at Nora's or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I definitely think that it's going to be a movie where the four of them get to hang out, and Dr. Bravestone's going to come, and the zoologist. But I guess no Jack Black. I guess they're going to be like, oh, we don't have the map guy. Well, we don't need a map guy because we live in this town and we have Google Maps. You know, maybe that's how they're going to like get away with it. Is they're going to make some kind of like excuse like that.
I hope they bring him back just because we'll probably have to
That's
see
what I was
this
gonna
movie
ask. How
again.
sure are you that he's retiring?
I saw an article on it, and I just
And they were like, yeah.
why would anyone lie about that? You
But,
know?
and that's what they said in the article. Like Jumanji was his last movie.
Mm-hmm.
There was no other movie he was working on before Jumanji released.
I don't think so. I think he only did those crappy, like there's a house with a clock in its walls or whatever movie. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think he's gonna retire for this being his last movie, which kind of sucks.
It does. What's your favorite Jack Black movie?
Oh, I feel like I'm gonna be like,
School of Rock with Jack Black.
I really like School of Rock. I mean, that is his only like main lead movie. I did
Nacho Libre.
Nacho Libre. That movie's like really weird, but actually pretty
Goosebumps,
funny.
House with the Clock on the Walls.
Never saw those. Don't like them anyway. Bernie.
Never saw it. It's just what it's called.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd say School of Rock and Nacho Libre are up there for me.
Tenacious D. Were you ever a Tenacious D guy? I was never really.
I never got into the music or the movie.
What
I
about
guess.
Tropic Thunder? You like Tropic Thunder more?
I like it more now that enough time has passed. I was kind of iffy on that movie at first, but yeah, I do like that movie. I'd say it's up there.
So my question I was going to ask, what would you give this movie? Let's rank this movie before we...
Decent. Another decent on the decent show. Back-to-back decents for me.
I guess it's decent.
Whoa.
I
so
guess,
you think it's
dude.
better than Uncut, bro? I think
It is
out of-
more enjoyable.
Yeah, I think out of all these movies that we've reviewed tonight, I mean, this was my, I guess, favorite or most
Yeah.
enjoyed. Yeah,
Because there were moments that I really, really enjoyed, honestly.
we were laughing.
Yeah, so
We had some laughs.
it's got to be the best out of those. So, my question I was going to ask to you is, what movie do you think is the biggest waste of talent between these three, like
Oh,
of
between-
actors?
Between these three,
Because you got to think about, they have a great performance from Jack Black. It's wasted on a terrible movie. They waste The Rock and Kevin Hart by making them do something they can't do. Then you got Uncut Gems. Adam Sandler gives a really good performance, but the movie is shoddy and just hard to focus and just all over the place. And then you got freaking, what's it called? I can never remember the name of it. What's the name?
Commuter.
The Commuter.
Snoke or whatever.
Yeah, you smoking yet?
No, Snook, whatever.
Snook, yeah.
Snook, yeah.
You have Liam Neeson, who's a good actor, really good actor, and
You can do.
we root for him, but he is in a terrible movie with a terrible plot.
Yeah. Well, let me hear your answer.
The biggest waste of talent?
Yeah.
I'd say Uncut Gems.
In regards to Adam Sandler,
Yeah.
do you think his role was that much better than the movie? Or
Yeah,
like his
honestly.
performance, I mean?
Because he doesn't act in any movie, and now he's actually a really good actor in this movie, and I didn't enjoy the movie. Whereas Liam Neeson, he's kind of old, and he shouldn't be doing these movies anyway.
Right.
So I don't think that, I'm not really that hurt by it. And then Jack Black was really good in the movie, but I don't really know if the movie really had that great of potential, but it should because of just how many actors are in it that are well known.
Yeah, but it's also not like Jack Black's an Oscar-winning actor either. Or critically acclaimed, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, because he's
But
never
then-
really done a serious role.
I guess neither is Adam Sandler, but I just feel like Adam Sandler's more famous than Jack Black.
Adam Sandler, I think, has gotten nominated for best either actor or best supporting actor.
For what?
Punch Drunk Love.
Don't even know that one.
Exactly. It's like it's the other serious movie he's done in his entire career.
See, people get typecasted. Liam Neeson's getting typecasted.
Like, that sucks, but I mean, you're making millions to do the same thing, and you don't work that hard or you don't work that long. So, like, bummer, you know. Like, that sucks, but who cares?
So wait, you said Adam Sandler, and I agree with that. I would go with, I guess, The Rock, just because it seems like every movie he's in, he's the lead. He's such a big deal, and I like him a lot, but his movies lately have been poop. And yeah, they had him doing an accent for pretty much the entirety of a movie, and he had no business doing that accent. He couldn't do it, and they're paying him a dick ton of money.
And they waste Danny DeVito, too.
Yeah, but you asked for the biggest, so I'd say him. Just because Danny DeVito's really old, so I'm sure he's taken all the roles that he wants, or like all that he can get, or whatever it is that he's trying to do.
That's true.
I mean, The Rock's technically either in the prime or on the downslide of his career, because, over the last... I just don't know if there's anybody that's done more Hollywood blockbusters in the last, 5 to 10 years than The Rock.
Probably not, honestly.
Maybe there's somebody that's done more movies than him, but nobody's done more movies that are big money that people technically care about than him.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree, and I don't really care for most of them.
Right. Same.
Well,
what are you looking for?
No, I was just gonna see if he did win. Maybe I just made that up, honestly.
Made what up?
That he won that award. So I don't know. I guess he didn't, but
Did he even get nominated?
doesn't look like it. Golden Globe. He was a Golden Globe nominee for Best Performance in an Action by an Actor in a Motion Picture. So
Lovely.
whatever the Chicago Film Critics Association. He apparently won Best Actor for Uncut Gems, but that's not really an award that. That's great, but it's like
Yeah, it's not the Golden Globes or the Oscars. But I guess I'm not saying Adam Sandler necessarily deserves it, but I need to know who the other nominees are
for that category.
Yeah. Just because I can't think of who it would be right now. I'm too tired. Anything else?
No, I think that's about it.
Well, there you have it. A trifecta, three-peat, whatever you want to call it, trilogy complete.
It's a pretty crappy trilogy.
Yeah, pretty crappy trilogy. We covered 3 movies that none of them got higher than a decent. That was the highest rating we gave out tonight, which is pretty low considering we gave, 3 reviews. But hey, Hollywood's putting out a lot of shit. We're watching it, and we're letting you guys know about it. For Reagan, I'm Ryan. You have a great night.
And it's you who is good. You know what else is good? It's smoking dope. Ain't gonna rat you out, Puffing the Chiba, go by the seesaw, smoke a J. You know what I'm talking about?
I have a belly button.
You have a belly button? Well, we all have belly buttons. You know what? We all love Yoo-Hoo. Especially Yoo-Hoo with a little rum.
What's wrong?
You don't know what rum is.
Rumpelstiltskin?
Rumpelstiltskin.